Good morning. Let me get a little sip, please. We're about to change gears a little bit this morning. I'm veering off our regular YouTube and Hope Exists just for a few moments. As most of you know, the circumstances surrounding my life and work. But I just want to express my love for you and my real gratitude to God, my praises to God. I got letters and calls from everyone. Tony Coffey's doing a tremendous work in Dublin, Ireland. Bertie Ritchie, Arizona, Billy Wilson, just people from all over the country. It's been amazing. Let me just start off by saying Romans 3:23, we're all sinners. We have all fallen short of the glory of God. That includes me. There is none righteous, no, not one. That includes me. We are sinners in need of God's mercy, God's grace, and God's forgiveness. I'm not special. I'm really not that important. I'm not really. I'm just a man who struggles like you struggle. There are many, many things I don't understand. I have a hard time with the providence of God. I wrestle with issues and difficulties in life, but I want to first and foremost lay the foundation. I want you to know, and I know you know this, but I want you to know who I am. I'm a sinner in need of God's grace and mercy. I've been blessed. I've worked with the congregation here at Green Ridge for maybe somewhat 38 years. People here have prayed and loved me and prayed for me, and it's been amazing. But let me go back and tell you the story very briefly, and then hopefully I may not be too long. We'll just have one video this week, but maybe just get it out in the open. Approximately 4 years ago, through neglect, my own neglect, I had a prostrate problem and had to go to see a specialist. And I kind of left it too late. They had warned me 3 years prior to the time I went to see the specialist that I needed to go and see one. But of course, hard-headed Jack here, he says, it's okay, bye. And I didn't go, and I neglected myself. Didn't go near the doctor, didn't get any tests run, didn't do anything. And then I went to get a little blood work done, and it proved to be just a mess. The whole thing was completely messed up. But I left it so late that the cancer had spread. I went to my lymph nodes and my bones and different parts of my body. For about 2 years, I got a special medicine that worked for about 2 years. But it was pretty severe on my body. It was pretty hard and severe on my body. Can't remember the name of it. But it was a chemical castration, and I had that maybe 10 times in that particular period of time, maybe every 3 months or something like that. So I had that about 9 or 10 times. Then they said, this is no longer working, we're going to have to try something else. So my little doctor, Dr. Greco from the Tennessee oncologist, and his wonderful nurses and his staff, he said, let's try something else, let's see if we can get something else. So he searched around and got experimental drugs, and they put me on these drugs, high-priced experimental drugs. And he wanted me to go on them, but then after about, I don't know how long I was on them, the drug company said, we can no longer supply these to you unless you pay X amount of dollars. Now, I am not crying poverty or pleading poor me. I could have paid it. But, as you pay out that sort of money, which is pretty high, it's costly, I'm sure, get into my retirement, whatever, But it was just I told them I couldn't afford that sort of stuff every month because it was high. And they said, okay, so the lady called me and she said, we can't send you any more. I said, what happens if I've got no more? What am I going to do? Am I going to die? And she hung up on me from the pharmaceutical company. She hung up on me. But this other young lady called from the same company and said, I'll tell you what, we'll try and get you 15 days, half a month's supply. And they got me out 15 days, and I was worried sick. What's going to happen if you know how? And instead of me praying and trusting God and loving God and listening to the prayers of those people around me, I was saying, what's going to happen to me when these 15 days are up? 15 days rolled along, I had no more pills. I was taking one little blood pressure medicine pill, and that was all. Nothing else. But in the meantime, people all over the world, people all over the country. I was in Kroger's one day, little fella, probably 5 years of age, come up and pulled my pant leg and said, Brother Jack, I'm praying for you. I didn't know him, but he evidently had been to church somewhere. But he pulled my pant leg and said, Brother Jack, I'm praying for you. My dear sister in Texas, who was a missionary in Romania for many, many years, Emma Jean McAnulty, she would call me at my home and say, Brother Jack, I'm praying for you. I had calls from India. I had calls from Africa. I had texts, hundreds of texts, from people all over the world. I would pick up the Coleraine, Northern Ireland Bulletin. Bertie would send it through the internet, and I'd pick it up every Sunday morning before I'd preach. And I get sick looking at my name, Pray for Jack Martin. It had been there for 4 years, where my dear brethren in Coleraine had been praying constantly for 4 years. People from all over, pray, pray, pray. They were praying for me. I didn't feel like there was going to be a solution. I didn't feel like anything good was going to come out of it. I was praying, I was praying, I was praying. But I guess I wouldn't say I was down, but there were days I had little faith, and I was asking God to increase my faith. I am a weakling. Let me just throw that out there. I'm a weakling when it comes to sickness. O ye of little faith, I was told many, many times. O ye of little faith. Just people from all over the country, all over the place. I'm praying, Brother Jack. I'm praying, I'm praying, I'm praying. That's all I heard. 5th of December, I was teaching a Wednesday night Bible class. And I was sore and tired and wore out. I remember crawling off this stool, and a young couple at the side of the auditorium shouted over, Brother Jack, would like to have a prayer with you. One of the young people got up and prayed, and he says, leaning over me, I was sitting down, because I had to sit down. He says, may the Lord's will be done. Give Brother Jack peace. The other prayer was a bit strange to my ears. I had never heard that type of prayer. Well, maybe I've heard it, but never heard it prayed over me. But stood up and grabbed me by the head and started to shout, in the name of Jesus, get rid of this cancer. I'm looking around, I hope nobody's watching me. I hope nobody's watching this, because I was getting a little bit embarrassed. But they wouldn't give up. In the name of Jesus, 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 take this cancer away from his body. Remove it completely. Get it out of here. I was glad when the amen finally came around. I could go home and get a little rest. I went home. Tried to go to bed and sleep. Couldn't sleep. 5th of December. Couldn't sleep a wink. Tossed and turned. Couldn't sleep. I said, look, I'm going to get up and lie down on the couch because I'm just keeping you awake. So I got up and I lay on the couch and lying on the couch. And I decided to pray. And I kind of emulated the prayer that took place in the church building that same night. I said, Lord, in the name of Jesus. I didn't probably shout as loud. But I said, in the name of Jesus, Lord, remove this. I'm asking for a miracle. Now, I don't believe in fake healers. I don't believe in all this stuff that goes on television. I don't believe that. But I prayed in the name of Jesus, remove it. You know, from the 5th of December, right up to the new year, I never felt better in all my life. There was a little step. I was stepping out. I was walking better. I was feeling better. I didn't have the pain that I had. There was just something about it. I felt different. And I was at peace. Going every month for my treatments, my chemo shots and my bone shots and everything else. So I goes over to the doctor. He said, I want to have some scans, but I want to have some ones that you've never had before. I want to send you to the hospital, not the scan place where I usually go. So he sent me to Centennial Hospital, 9 o'clock in the morning to 3 in the afternoon. They done a PET scan, then they done a full body scan. They had a shunt, they had a needle, they had my brain, my back, my toes, my feet, my belly. Every part of me went through the machine. Check me out, check me out, check me out, check me out. It was so exhaustive. They said, we can't give you the results. So you got to go back to the doctor on March the 1st or something like that. You get the results. I went home, felt okay, still felt okay. 1st of March, just praying, hope everything goes well. Still no medicine, still taking no pills, except my blood pressure medicine. Still haven't had one there, nothing, just my blood pressure medicine. Went over to the hospital for him to read the results. My family was with me, my children and family. And they were all sitting around the room. The room was packed. They wanted to hear what he had to say. He came in with an armful of papers all over the place. And I don't know what church Dr. Greco goes to. I don't even know if he goes to church. I don't know what religion or what church or what. I don't know what his beliefs are. But he walked in the door and the first words out of his mouth was, somebody's been praying for you. Pardon? Prayers have been going up for you. What do you mean? He held out the papers and he said, we can't find any. What do you mean? I've got stage 4. I understood, this is my silly understanding. When you get stage 4, that's it. You die with stage 4. There's no stage 3. There's no downgrades. There's stage 1 or 2. You get 4, that's the end. Next step after 4 is hospice. He said, we can't find it. So my son, David, said, what about this thing in the back of his head? Can't find it. Well, what about this thing in his side that was buried so deep you couldn't get at it and it was growing? Can't find it. What about his bones? Can't find it. What about that thing in his back? Can't find it. Wow. Can't find it. Man. He says, go home. Can't find it. I dropped my head and said a prayer. Thank you, God, for your power, for your majesty, for your compassion, for your love. And I still don't understand why I'm here today. I really don't. I don't understand why brother so-and-so's not with us and I'm here, but I'm thankful. And I'm thankful to God and I praise his holy name. I lift him up. And the reason why I'm telling you this little story today, this idea, evolution, the big bang or the big crash or the big freeze, there is no God. Listen to me again. There is a God and he's alive and he hears our prayers and he knows our hearts and he sees our tears. And he knows everything about us. And he loves us. He created us out of love.
He is love. That's part of his attributes. He can't do any lovelessness. He can't be loveless. He made us, and he created us, and he made us in his image. And I lift him up today. And I want you to know, and I want you to feel there is a God. And he holds the whole world in his hands. And he knows what you're going through today. And he wants to help you. Listen, cancer was never his idea. We live in a sin-sick, rotten, filthy world. And it was the temptations to sin, Adam and Eve, that caused the disruption. And even for the creation to groan for redemption. Listen to me again. He loves you. He wants you in heaven. He wants to save your soul. There is a mighty God. Can I say it one more time? What a mighty God we serve. What a wonderful God. Our God is alive. He's alive. He's not dead. He's alive. And he's active in our lives. May God bless you. And thank you for putting up with me today for a little longer. But I felt I wanted to tell you our glorious story. May God bless you. Have a great day.